Apple just dropped the iPad Pro M5, thinner than ever, powered by a monster chip, and polished like a luxury watch. Samsung fired back with the Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra, a massive 14.6-inch slab that feels more like a portable theater than a tablet. Both cost over $1,000. Both promise to replace your laptop. But after using both, there's one thing Apple still cannot match on the Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra, and once you see it, it changes the entire buying decision. On paper, this looks like a simple fight. Apple brings raw power with the M5. Samsung brings size, flexibility, and features Apple refuses to touch. But this isn't a spec sheet battle. This is about real daily use, editing, multitasking, battery stress, storage limits, and how these devices actually fit into real life. Samsung went all in with a 14.6-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X display. The iPad Pro M5 sits at 13 inches. That 1.6-inch difference doesn't sound dramatic until you're editing video, and suddenly your entire timeline fits without feeling cramped. Samsung's panel hits 120 Hz HDR10+ and peaks near 1,600 nits, bright enough to use outdoors without fighting reflections. Apple's Ultra Retina Tandem OLED does hit slightly higher peak brightness, and its color accuracy is surgical. True whites, perfect balance, no ghosting. But Samsung's contrast, saturation, and sheer screen real estate make movies look cinematic and multitasking feel effortless. And then there's sound. Samsung's quad-speaker AKG system hits deeper, fills the room better, and actually makes you forget headphones. Apple is cleaner. Samsung is bigger and more immersive. Now let's talk power, because yes, Apple still dominates here. The iPad Pro M5 pulls brutal benchmark numbers. Geekbench single-core lands around 4,200, while Samsung sits near 2,700. Multi-core? Apple crosses 15,000. Samsung taps out around 8,900. In GPU testing, Apple nearly doubles Samsung's scores. In real life, that means heavy 4K video exports, complex 3D work, and layered renders finish almost twice as fast on the iPad. If brute force performance is your job, Apple still wins that crown. No debate. But this is where the conversation flips. Performance means nothing if your tablet dies before your day does. Samsung packs an 11,600 mAh battery with a 94-hour endurance rating. In real heavy multitasking, that translates to around 9 to 10 hours. The iPad Pro M5, under the same pressure, lands closer to 7 to 8. That's the difference between finishing your work and hunting for wall sockets at the airport. Samsung adds 45-watt fast charging and refills to 100% in about 75 minutes. Apple still ships a 20-watt charger that feels years behind. Then there's storage freedom, something Apple completely refuses to give you. On iPad, you choose 256 gigabytes or 512 gigabytes at checkout, and that's your prison forever. Need more? Pay monthly for cloud storage and pray your internet is stable. Samsung lets you expand storage up to 2 terabytes with microSD. Your 256 gigabytes fills up? Pop in a cheap card and keep working. That's not convenience. That's ownership. And the stylus? Apple charges you another $129. Samsung includes the S Pen in the box. No excuses. No upsell. This is the one thing Apple still cannot match. Freedom. Power without control isn't power. Samsung adds IP68 water resistance. You spill coffee? Rinse it. Keep working. Spill coffee on an iPad? You're pricing replacement parts before it dries. These devices cost over $1,000. Only one is actually built for the chaos of real life. iPadOS is beautiful, stable, and tightly optimized, especially if you live deep inside Apple's ecosystem. Everything syncs. Everything just works. But Samsung's DeX is different. It turns the tablet into a full desktop environment. Real windows, real file management, real multitasking. You can even run 4 separate desktops across monitors. It's not a gimmick. It's Samsung quietly rebelling against Apple's locked-down workflow. Try managing files seriously on iPadOS, and you'll understand why people end up emailing documents to themselves. Apple still leads in camera consistency. The single 12-megapixel wide lens with LiDAR delivers cleaner, more natural colors, better skin tones, and superior Face ID tracking. Samsung gives you versatility, dual rear cameras, and a wider front lens that's perfect for video calls and content creation. Apple looks better. Samsung gives you more angles. The Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra starts at $1,129 with 256 gigabytes and includes the S Pen. The iPad Pro M5 starts at $1,299 for the same storage, plus $129 for the Pencil. You're paying about $170 more on Apple's side for less screen, shorter battery life, no expandable storage, no water resistance. Here's the truth. Most spec sheets won't tell you. Apple built the most powerful tablet ever on paper. Samsung built the most usable tablet in real life. The Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra doesn't win because it's faster. It wins because it respects how people actually work, travel, create, and store their data. Apple gives you power. Samsung gives you freedom. And in 2025, freedom might matter more.